What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel, and today I have a brand new video. Now this is a Marvel video. It's a Marvel mock video, and I know you guys are probably saying, dude, you literally came out with like 4 mocks in a day, and a lot of them were really good. Basically all of them were really good, but of course one of them was probably the best customs that I've ever made, Galactus. And of course this new one is based on the new movie that came out very recently. However, I'm not going to see it in the theaters. Of course that movie is Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. You guys probably might know who the mock is for. But of course the movie came out and I was planning on going to see it, but then I just didn't want to. Because then I saw that it was a really crummy movie. Very bad. And so what I did is I am going to wait till it comes out on Disney Plus and then give my review and stuff like that. And yeah, so without further ado, who am I talking about? Of course, this guy is M.O.D.O.K. Now, I have made a M.O.D.O.K. before doing that. I recently, off topic, did make an updated version of Kang the Conqueror. This is honestly the best version of Kang that I will ever come up with in my collection. Of course, as you guys can see, he has the Star Wars face. I did get this face on my Christmas haul, if you guys can go check that out. But I also did add a cape and some shoulder pads. Different from LEGO Marvel Collections, but of course does work really well for him. So just putting him off to the side. Of course, we're going to take a look at my old M.O.D.O.K. Now, this one was actually when I first started making brick-built Marvel characters. M.O.D.O.K. was one of the first guys that I ever made. It's honestly pretty surprising, because I made so many these days. But he was my first one, right next to Kingpin. I don't know who came first. I don't remember. I think I'll have to go check in my LEGO videos to see if I did, because I haven't checked in a while. But I think M.O.D.O.K. came first, but he was actually based on somebody. Of course, he was based on Brick Ninja Productions, and I actually commented on his video and said to make a build tutorial, because I actually wanted to make a M.O.D.O.K. because I had been planning on making him for a while. And I do remember that I think one of my most popular videos is actually the Marvel Avengers version of M.O.D.O.K. As soon as I made that version, I decided, I think I made him before LEGO Marvel Collections. I don't really remember. So I did, of course, have to go on my channel, because I knew the whole time it was going to bug me until I figured out when I made this guy, and it's not clear. Of course, he was made after LEGO Marvel Collections 1, and he was in LEGO Marvel Collections 2. So he's actually one of the secret customs that I made, which of course he's been around, I think, since LEGO Marvel Collections 1. But the first time I ever showed him on my channel was in LEGO Marvel Collections 2, which is kind of sad, but this when I was hiding all my customs and stuff, so you guys would actually wait till the actual video, which LEGO Marvel Collections 3 won't be happening for, I don't think, ever. I don't know. But of course, you guys can go watch LEGO Marvel Collections 2. He's really good. I like him a lot. He has his yellow base plate. He still looks really cool. It's just, I've grown as a customizer and building, so of course, this isn't my M.O.D.O.K. anymore. Of course, it's my brand new one that I made based on an Ant-Man, which I think is honestly one of my most interesting builds I've ever done, which is really cool. So yeah, there's M.O.D.O.K. Of course, the face is really cool. If I can remove the roller skates, I did actually paint eyebrows and stuff. His face looks really cool. You can definitely tell that this was based on Brick Ninja Productions. I don't think he does that many LEGO videos anymore. I think he does more stop motion now. But yeah, without further ado, let's take a look at my brand new M.O.D.O.K. So this is based on Ant-Man, the new one, and so it's based on Darren Cross, spoilers. But yeah, without further ado, here he is. So here is my brand new M.O.D.O.K. As you guys can see, he's much more round than my original one, which is honestly what I like most about him. I feel like I made him out way too wide. I did use a lot of really cool, clever pieces, like the tire pieces, but they were cut. And yeah, he uses a lot of illegal building techniques. He does too, because M.O.D.O.K. is really hard to make it purist. So as you guys can see, just a full 360. He looks really good, and I'm very proud of the shaping I was able to do. Making him gold was honestly probably the hardest part, because I really wanted to make him gold, and I wanted to make Professor X's chair gold, but I wasn't able to, and it kind of sucked. So, but now these days I can actually make him gold, because I have enough pieces. I use gold and tan pieces. It's the best pieces that I have. For him, tan, I use a lot of tan, which LEGO does that themselves when they're making something that's gold. And they don't have those pieces in gold, they just use tan. So that's what I did for my M.O.D.O.K. And of course, you guys are probably wondering, because it's very obvious, that I use all minifigure parts for this guy and don't use any clips. So I actually used 2 minifigure torsos. And yeah, of course, people have used minifigure torsos for M.O.D.O.K. Of course, I do have photos right here. And as you guys can see, they don't look that good. Now, it's really hard because, of course, to build M.O.D.O.K, and I'll actually show you guys how, that I made him. Of course, breaking that down later, why it's really difficult to make a M.O.D.O.K with minifigure arms. It's kind of pretty obvious. Minifigure torsos have necks, and to build this M.O.D.O.K, what I had to do is build on top of it. So of course, to address the elephant in the room, if I can actually just remove the side pieces and just remove his top of the head, I actually had to sand off the necks so I could actually build on top of it. And if you guys are willing to sacrifice 2 gold torsos and have a really good base for your M.O.D.O.K, I really suggest that you do, because it just works really well. Of course, they're just 2 gold torsos. You don't really notice them that much in my build for him, but yeah, I had to sand off the necks. It wouldn't work otherwise if you did anything else. Once again, the photos right here, a lot of people did really good, and Keisha Legos, of course, pointing his out first. His is really good. I love everything about it. The eyes and stuff is actually kind of, I think, better than mine. And the pieces and everything's great. It's just the arms. I feel like if he sanded the necks off, even though it's not official and it is bad, I feel like it probably would have been much better, because it's just so much more round and fits easier. Obviously, also Luca Lego, which his is okay, but he actually was able to make a M.O.D.O.K, but his arms are way too close to his teeth, and it just looked too narrow and skinny. It just didn't work. So what I did for mine is use an offset stud and put it on the very end of it. So of course, just setting it like that so the arms would stick out, but not too far in, if that makes sense. Since we have it down here already, I did use a lot of gold pieces on the side. Some normal gold, and then some pearl gold, as you guys can see right here and here. But I didn't use that much pearl gold. I used mostly just normal gold. And then I also used these pieces from the Thanos mech and in my own collection. And then we have the top of the face right here, which once again, I created the upper lip right here. So if you guys can actually just see how that works, they just slide over like that, and it connects in the back studs back here, so it works really well, and I'm very proud of how it turned out, which it works really well, and I love how the face turned out. Of course, just looking at it again, I made his teeth with the studs. You can kind of see the torsos right there, but once again, they're barely noticeable. Probably the hardest part about this was his eyebrows. This piece wasn't actually in here. What he kind of looked like, if you guys wanted to know what he looked like before I added this, he kind of looked like that. And don't get me wrong, this looks really good. It's just he needs the nose right here. Honestly, I didn't add that until way later. It was actually just a normal plate right here, just a gold plate. I don't think it was this piece specifically, but it was just a chrome like gold plate right there, and he needed a nose really badly. But then I came up with putting this gold finger over it, and then as you guys can see right there, it just works really well. So I did use this piece right here, then put some gold clips from the Thanos snowman, this guy right here. I used it from the Thanos snowman because I knew those gold pieces were coming handy. And then I used some of these pieces from the Thor Ragnarok, and then just used some more gold fingers with what I actually used for the nose, because if you guys can actually see that, I cut it. It was actually this piece right here. I just cut the tip of it off because it was more round but not too flat. You guys know what I mean? So yeah, that's how that works. Going up here, really cool. I just used 2 pearl gold bar pieces. I think I actually do have another one right here. Right here, it's this piece. I used 2 of them, which is really nice. And then just put a bunch of these pieces on the back because I had a ton of them from the Thanos mech and stuff. So yeah, I just did that like that. And those work really well with the plates on the side. Of course, they're in tan. And for the back, I used a lot of finger pieces, mostly 2 kinds, the fat fingers and the skinny fingers. And they actually I did use the Thanos mech to make this figure. Of course, removing the base because it's kind of in the way right now. What you can actually do is if you take, and I do have an extra one right here to actually show you guys. It's kind of illegal because it's kind of putting stress on the bricks, but if you put these 2 fingers down in front like this, and then the gold finger back here, it actually perfectly makes kind of like a full thing right there. And that's what I did with this, is that I just put the 2 gold fingers right here, and then the fat fingers on the side. And then there's 2 big ones in the middle, obviously, because that's where they connect. And it was basically just like this, and then I put 2 of them right there. And it works really well. I love how it turned out, and it covers up it really well. I was going to use these pieces, but once again, too fat wouldn't have worked, and those gold fingers just really just cover up everything good. And of course, I figured out how the top of the head was going to work. I finished this part really quick. I just had to make the face work with this back here. And as you guys can see, removing that a little bit, you guys can, they're just gold plates down here just because these pieces slide over it. Which how that kind of works is this gold piece goes right here, and just connecting that with the studs. This gold piece at the front goes down, then you kind of situate the eyebrows. Then next, all these gold fingers just go down like this, and they work really well. Then I did use a jumper piece so he could have his little laser at the top. That worked out really well. Then I just did that and that, and there you go. And then these pieces actually connect down here. They don't connect, but they go right into place really well, and you don't ask any questions because it just looks really seamless. And once again, you guys kind of just mess with the eyebrows a little bit. There you go. That's really the front, and then I use the cheese wedges right here in red. Those work really well. And yeah, and then of course down here, before I forget, some tan brackets down here with this gold piece, really nice. But I did use mid legs instead of large legs because of course he's a tiny dude. I think this works okay, and I didn't have that many purple legs, so I just did that. And of course the arms, once again, are fully movable. They can move up and down, and yeah, it just works really well. Of course, you guys are probably wondering on the sides, which the sides are probably the most important to this figure, because if we remove them actually just like that, it's very bare. So this whole thing is connected, and this is the one connection I don't like on this whole figure. Everything else is perfect, it's just this connection. And the problem with it is of course, as you guys can see here, it's connected by one stud, and it connects in the middle, and the middle connection really isn't the most strong. So I used a gold plate and then this finger piece, and then I just basically just did that all the way up. And of course the pieces are inverted, that's on purpose, and I basically did that on the other side as well. But once again, they're too high, you kind of have to have them a bit lower. So they're right about here. And once again, they're really hard to get in situated, but as soon as you do get them in there, then you just kind of slide it over like this, and then there you go. And the same is to be said on the other side, just once again like that. And that's my least favorite part about this dude. So that is it for M.O.D.O.K, but don't click off the video yet because there's actually another thing that you can do with this guy. So of course, there is an alternate face. Of course, I did make him with his helmet off, which is really cool. So of course, it's really awesome. So of course, first off, what you're going to need to do to change this guy is you're going to have to take the weakest connection, which is of course the connection between the head and the torsos. So what you're going to need to do is actually slide these pieces to the side, because you're going to need to adjust them, because this whole back attachment goes away. So you're basically just going to need to disconnect all of this. So you're basically left kind of with this, and this whole back connection basically is gone. And the next thing that you're going to need to do is you're going to need to remove these studs right here and his teeth, because his teeth don't want those right there. So just remove those. Of course, those went really seamless this time. So just move those onto the back, and you're kind of left with this right now, which of course I did make an alternate face, and I did paint a face on as well. But all you're going to need to do is just slide it right over his torsos, and it goes over seamlessly, and here you go. That is how you make his unmasked version. However, you are going to need to adjust these. So the M.O.D.O.K, of course, if you guys know, this doesn't really look that good. I mean, it still looks okay, but what I do really is I just get these all the way down, and then there you go. That's really it. So you just move these down like this, and it's pretty much perfect, and that is how you build it. And how I built this basically is just on the back, I raised these pieces up so the back is kind of different. Obviously, it has to be different so it can, because these gold teeth pieces can't go over the head because the top of his head is seen, and it does look really cool like this. Of course, I used a tan brick and then just a normal brick at the front. Of course, with the other M.O.D.O.K, I couldn't use his face because his is just built really strange. His eyes would have been his mouth, and I couldn't use his eyes, so yeah, I had to paint a new mouth altogether. However, this doesn't really look like Darren Cross that much, so I do actually add one more adjustment to him to actually make him comic book M.O.D.O.K, and there's only one thing you're going to need to do, which is to give him hair. So at the very top, you guys can see he has this little laser thing. His laser thing kind of moves from here to there in the snap of the fingers, but who cares? So what you're going to need to do for this is you're going to need to basically take these cheese wedges off the side, and then take his major thing right here, and of course next what you're going to need to do is, I wish this was a tan brick instead of just that, because yeah, it doesn't really work out that well. Anyway, you're going to need to do that. Make sure to put this piece back on the side. Once again, these pieces have a bit of difficulty, but yeah, looks really cool like that. So you're kind of left off with just bald head. That's really it. So what you do next is you take this piece right here. You're going to take this piece right here. You're going to kind of put it right here. Then you take all of this right here, and this corner piece is going to go on the back right here. There you go. And then finally, you're going to need to add these two wedges once again in the front. So it kind of goes over like this. So then, of course, you're going to put the next cheese wedge right there. And there you go. That is it for the comic book M.O.D.O.K. And I honestly like this one more than the bald head, probably because it covers up the tan a little bit more. I tried to cover it up with flesh, but it didn't work. But now you can actually kind of compare these dudes together. And as you guys can see, this one is superior. It just looks better, and there's more customization with this dude. You can do the hair, no hair, or his mask that he has on in the movie. And it just looks better, and it looks more like M.O.D.O.K. The face kind of does look like the gorillas, which is pretty funny. But yeah, this was a quick and easy build that I did. And it looks really awesome. Of course, all you got to do once again to replace this is just once again move the flaps down to the side, because they do get caught under bricks and stuff. So yeah, all you're gonna have to do is just remove this. Sometimes the mouth, most of the time the mouth gets stuck down here. You're just gonna have to do that. And yeah, of course that looks really cool. Removing that, all you got to do just put the teeth down here again, and then the upper teeth as well. And then finally just have to put the whole head back on again. Oh, also you're gonna have to remove the back attachments because it doesn't fit with the new one. So yeah, there you guys go. And then next you're just gonna put this on, and there you go. Of course the sides do have problems. They do mostly fall off when you put it back in this position because of how they kind of get all messed up during this, because you got to move them forward a lot. But there you go. That's kind of what you do. And then do that to the other side as well. Just move them forward a bit like that, and there you go. He kind of does look like the Flash though, so you can kind of mess with it a little bit more and kind of put it in the position that you want it in, which is really cool. And there you go. That is it for M.O.D.O.K. Of course, putting that piece down. That is it for his helmeted and non-helmeted version. Of course, tell me down below which one do you like more. Do you like the bald? Do you like the hair? Do you not like the hair? Or do you like the new helmet? I personally like the helmet version, but of course I do also like him with his face on as well. It does look pretty cool. So yeah, that is it for M.O.D.O.K. Of course, moving these pieces off to the side. If you guys like it, make sure to leave a like, comments, and subscribe. And I will see you guys later. Peace out and bye.